Hello and welcome to another day of spoilers. Today we got the last two Scoia'tael cards, and apparently, based on what chat's been telling me, this thing is the busted card. So let's take a look. It's a 4 for 8. Torque. Whenever this card is boosted in your hand, boost a random different unit in your hand by the same amount. Devotion, this card always starts in your hand. Oh, what an interesting card. What an interesting card. Busted is a strong word. But very, 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 very good. Okay, so my thoughts initially do a couple things. First things first, Devotion, card in hand. It's a huge buff. A massive buff for Scoia'tael Handbuff decks. Because one of the biggest issues, if you miss Skaggs and Aglais, it's over. You're in a lot of trouble. However, if your Devotion always starts in your hand, that's no longer a concern for you. No big deal. Second, somebody already posted in chat. Yeah, Preschool Girl. The potentially triple hand buffs is a huge deal because you can buff Torque. Very little investment here. And then if Torque buffs an Aglais, that's a huge deal. Now, with that said, still needs to buff about 3 to 4 times to really make it worth it for the triple. But even as a double, still runnable. Most hand buff cards already double anyways. Torque doubles and guarantees in hand and has one of the lowest costs possible. And can be over buffed. Like Skaggs gets punished if you make a 20-point Skaggs because you're probably not going to find something to hit 14 onto. This thing is, yeah, it's really good. It's a good card. Hand buff's looking pretty good. It kind of gives me that same Sunset Wanderer vibe for like Tactical Decision. That card that might really pull together. Also, yeah, Invigorate Leader got buffed because, right, you can Invigorate guarantee buff this twice. That means it goes to a 6 for 8 that buffs 2 others. Enhances it. Let's see, red coin. Reason this card's not busted because of blue coin. I don't know. Hand buff's never been Gentleman. Maybe you can explain your comment there a little bit further, because when I think of hand buff, I always think of a very greedy round one in terms of trying to get carry over their buffs instead of having to commit them. But this card seems very good. Very, very good. Could it make a hand buff archetype? Maybe. This is the type of card you would need for it. Chillard auto include? Maybe. Remember, Dana, it spreads around the love. Spreads around the love, right? So interesting. So interesting. It's also kind of weird if you ran that and Sunset Wanderer in the same deck. You already have a pretty okay hand put together immediately without much commit. Run it with Invigorate, you can buff your Sunset Wanderer, so it's pretty easy to close out round 1 regardless, and have an aggressive round 2 on red coin. So I can see some abuse there. Well, Torque is very good. I really like it. It's definitely better than Filana Vandriel, whatever it's called. Plain Chalk John, will this be a spicy deck here? It's probably Hollowback J. I dig some fast ST hand buff on day 1. I could. This is the kind of thing I would need to run it. How interesting. Oh, that's true. That's true. Because you break Devotion, it's on your hand. Ah, Captain Edward, you're right. My dream is dead. Dream is dead. Torque? The Torque is his name? Got it. Torque. Villa Vandral. I got it. My pronunciation's great. All right. The short story is this card looks good. This is the kind of card that STM buff needed. Also, if it always starts in your hand, it'll be the leftmost one. And so we go back to Bountiful Harvest. And where is the Mega Fred? You go back to something like Bountiful Harvest. Computer, I've been fighting with my electronics today. Bountiful Harvest, just always create the leftmost, guarantee the basically +4, plus spawn an elf, meaning making Bountiful Harvest almost always a 12 for 10 minimum. That seems like maybe a little bit strong. Yeah, card's good. I think I might come to hate this card or love it. We're gonna find out. But that's the best card I think spoiled so far. The other card's really good as Bountiful Harvest. We'll see. Now going on to Watcher of the Valley. Deploy, give an enemy unit bleeding equal number of amounts of boost on this card. Bonded, damage it instead. This card's trash, ignore it. So it's good if you can get 2 buffs on it. And like Torque here, buddy, helps you really get that. With that said, this card, you typically want to put your boosting on Torque, and you're hoping Torque hits Aglais. Putting a more boosting on it doesn't really double it, it just makes it more consistent. But Aglais and Skaggs is where you want the extra boost. I don't think this card's very good. Watch of the Valley. Gonna give you a thumbs down. Not what we're looking for. Not what I want. Not what I wanted on a bonded card too. Regardless, like bonded, if like boosting itself by 2 would be more interesting to me. So I'm not a fan of the Watcher Valley. Torque though, looking good. Would it work with Truffle Bar? Sure, but Truffle Bar you're doing with Crocram Preacher, and you're gonna do it with Selena Harpy. What do you mean? It's a great clog target, Holovac J. That's how you know it's bad. It's like, oh yeah, that card that's really good if I'm playing clog and my opponent plays it. Yeah, terrible target. Torque really is. Oh, I'm so scared of this card. I'm so scared. This is the card that scares me. Jararan Khan, welcome to the Plain Talk family. I'm glad you joined us here today as we drink with centaurs. Welcome aboard. If you like what you see, check out the YouTube, Discord, Twitter. Welcome aboard. George on English. Okay, Georgia. Welcome, Georgia, to the chat, and welcome to the family. Yeah, I think this card's gonna be good. And looking at just all of Syndicate, Bountiful Harvest looks better. I also don't know why these are all in low. And Philavandrel also looks a little bit better because now you aren't really punished here on Skaggs and Aglais as long as you keep shoving buffs on him and just he let him buff the other stuff. But I think Philavandrel is unlikely to see play relative to what Torque, Aglais, and Skaggs are gonna do. So I think Torque is very good. Bountiful Harvest though I think will be the card I end up hating. I'm really scared of this card. The more I look at it, the more I read it, the more I see it in a nice high def art instead of whatever low view resolution that ended up being. This is a dangerous card. So all in all, I think, I hate to say it, Scoia'tael looks like it got some good stuff. The designs of each card are really good, except maybe you. I'm a little, and you. I actually think both these designs are a little weak. You're weak because I really want to buff the cool stuff, and I want my finisher to be cool. I want it to be a cool gold card and play it. So I think that's why it's bad design. This, I like the devotion aspect of it. I do not like maybe the first line of text. I think it might be too strong for the game. This makes me nervous. Every time I look at it, and devotion's not really a punishment for hand buff because you're always running Hawker Smugglers. Like all the hand buff stuff's already in devotion related stuff. There's no real good hand buff card other than Triss Butterflies. That's not much of a give up here. I think Torque scares me, but not as much as Bountiful Harvest, because Bountiful Harvest works really well with Torque. Good old blurry friend here, and it's really good. This thing is going to be potentially playing almost consistently for 12 for 6s. As we go back, I showed it last time we broke it down on stream. Let's go back to the deck builder real fast, because now we know there's no other dual on Thanos. Oh yeah, don't worry, this view got messed up too. Whatever. You can see my beautiful white space over here after the computer crash. Okay, Dolbon Thana almost always hits for an incredible card. 6 for 10, 6 for 10, or 6 for 4, 6 for 4. Or basically, I guess you're not really worried about it, but 6, 3 to 27, 4 to probably 9 or 10. Crash, you'll never pick it, and 7. So if we were to look at, go back to the other card, back to the Firefox. Just looking at this, it's basically playing for 6 to 7 guaranteed, and now with Torque, guaranteed to double the boost here as long as you pick the leftmost. No matter what it is, just pick the leftmost. Getting you 4 plus whatever you spawn. It's guaranteed 10 for 6. If you're Nature and Symbiosis, 11 for 6. It's gonna buff Gourd, so 11 for 6 at worst is pretty darn consistent here. Is Invigorate good now? I don't know, Carlos Danger. I kind of feel like the answer is no. Think about Precision Strike because it comes with double thinning. It's really good. And I think Brahmanair is ready. You don't want units in your deck. No unit's so popular for hand buff. You just want to make sure the buffs are hitting good stuff. A great way to ensure that is Precision Strike. Use the win round 1. Get ahead. Be punishing on red coin. Or even just to close out blue coin. And then from there, you can have a nice long round 2, lots of buffs going on, and pass, go to round 3 and smoke them with all the carryover. Yeah, Circle of Life carryover. Even Grinnock, like when you're evaluating hand buff and what Sorceress can do, you can spawn any, you don't even need to get buffed, right? I can just play her for tempering players a 9 for 5, and she's really good. Gourd goes to 10. Assuming I want to run Gord. I guess that's kind of the kicker, but yeah, I think we're looking. The fact that Max Firebox, Bountiful Harvest can trigger Torque in hand, guaranteed. So Torque doubles, and Torque can buff Aglais. It can buff Skaggs for another doubling. Like this card's actually really scaring the heck out of me. I love the design. I think the ST Bronze specials might need to start going to 7 provisions a piece and start being some of the few. I think probably the first. I would, or Bountiful Harvest being 7 provisions at bronze, being the first faction specific bronzes to get there. I'm a fan of that. Whoever those cards are, line pockets will always screw up. No, I don't think so, Dana. So it's not really about these cards, but speculating on the next patch. Here, we'll do a close-up view. Speculating on next patch. If we look at the past patch, what we've seen is CDPR is more willing than ever before to have a heavy hand with nerfing the most powerful deck in the format. This is the first time they've gotten steady, like better and better at this. I expect, for my prediction for next patch, Line Pockets is going to take a huge axe. I think lighter than what happened to Relics. I think the community saying that Kikamora Warriors nerf was a little too far. I think they're going to hear that. I think it's going to come through loud and clear. But I do think we're going to see CDBR come in here and say, look, even though the meta was worse because of Line Pockets and Spell Scoia'tael running rampant, if we come in of the axe again, our rework on Wild Hunt was successful. Wild Hunt Frost, Monster Weather is back. It's been ages. We did it. Look, we're right on the cusp of some other stuff. Let's just pull up Team Elder Blood's report real fast. Let's see. Here we go. I mean, I think this is what, if I was them, this would be the read here. I think CDPRs probably would say, look. And they do a lot. We know from the last round of the leak patches, they do a lot in advance. If I'm them, I'm saying, look, Elf, Nilfgaard. Nilfgaard's always going to be present. The Pocket Drill, like the clear ones that are pressing the meta are standing out. And if we can just get them a little bit more in line, all of a sudden we were right on the cusp of having an explosive meta of all kinds of cool decks. Give Northern Realms some small buffs and maybe the Siege department or some of the other just random useful cards right there, and then boom, we'll have a really diverse meta. Syndicate needs some serious rework. Notice there's only one Syndicate archetype. Some Firestorm buffs would be good if you want to pretend there's 2, but Syndicate actually needs like a overhaul to make the gangs actually matter. But they are so close. You need some more buffs to Northern Realms. You need to knock each of these down a peg, and you were right on the cusp of a very diverse, more well-balanced meta. I'm excited about it. But of course, I say all that, and we got Bountiful Harvest and Torque right around the corner. So let me put that little star there of the new cards are coming. And whatever that will mean, we're going to find out in a couple weeks. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you next time. Shout out to Ahmed Ali McRandar and pseudonym 81 for their unbelievably generous support on Patreon.